All righty, ladies and gentlemen, it feels good to be king, boy. It feels good to be king. Spring is here, folks, and it's time for a spring cleaning there. So last night, some big headlines, boy. The release of the goof, for example. Now let's start with Mark, Charles, and the fees or whatever. So basically, a brief history. Them boys became friends in the group. They added different people to their group, and they formed some kind of alliance. They had a chat. They called themselves the group chat clique. And much like the real clique, they were making power moves, boy. Some power moves with the E-Fed, stuff like this. At some point, Gerry closes Wrestling Gods, didn't even ask my permission or whatever. Closes the fucking group, 400 people. I bring them in, Mark, Charles, stuff like this, as admins. I figure they have interest. Gerry's gone. I'll bring him in. But here's what happened. It became like a group within a group. Imagine that I own a bar and there's a dance floor and it's a bunch of guys with green shirts. You know what I mean? They're pals. They're having a good time. And I put a few of them boys in charge. I make them bouncers or moderators, and they're wearing yellow shirts. Suddenly they start inviting their own people into the bar. But these people coming in, they're not wearing green shirts, you know what I mean? They don't say hello to the owner when they walk in the club. They're wearing yellow shirts and they're hanging out with the bouncers, and the group grows. And it's a bunch of guys with yellow shirts. They're just talking amongst each other. They're giving dirty looks to some of the green shirt people. Suddenly they grab some of my green shirt people and kick them out of the club there. They booted my friend Roland Bush. They pretty much destroyed his E-Fed. Mark destroys his E-Fed. Then he boots Roland out of my group. I'm under the impression that Roland left. You know what I mean? And this basically fucked up my friendship with Roland for like 3 months over bullshit that was caused by those guys. You know what I mean? So they're grabbing some of my people and tossing them out. And then when I see bad behavior in their group, for example, their buddy James Brunskill that goes around bashing me and other people in the group or whatever, I grab this yellow shirt guy and I boot him out of the club. Now, what do the bouncers do? They bring him back. So the owner kicks people out, people that they bring in that are trolling me, and they bring them back. And what do? They fuck around again. And now they're meddling in green shirt affairs. You know what I mean? For example, I booted Peter Gilmore out of the groups. Mark brings him back, invites him in one of my groups after I booted him out. A clear undermining of what the owner wants. And, after this fuckery, after seeing the way that they've been acting a bit recently in regards to their live shows, different stuff there, it was time, right? These yellow shirts, they're in the middle of the dance club, they're taking up all the room. Suddenly, we start butting elbows. It's time for this group to find their own club, basically, and get the fuck out. You know what I mean? So, them and their power grab and all of this, their buddies there with attitude problems, stuff like this, out. You know what I mean? Now, let's get to Gerry, folks. Now, Gerry, I love the guy. He's a friend of mine, stuff like this. But as it stands, folks, General Gerry officially released as a group admin. He's not kicked out of the group, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, the first problem was Gerry closing the 400 member group of wrestling gods. I hustled my ass off for this group. It wasn't him inviting people like a lunatic. It was me, right? I put in a lot of work in that fucking group. He closed it down. That's when I had to bring in other people in charge. That's when problems started taking place. Gerry starts his own group, the community group or whatever, and it pretty much failed. You know what I mean? So I brought him back. You know what I mean? Brought him back. We were supposed to do live shows. I said it's going to be like old times, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like old times, right? We haven't done a live show in months. Last time we went live in this group was about 5 months ago. So we opened the group about 6 months ago, did a few things. Then we haven't done jack shit since then. So basically, what's the point of having Gerry as co owner? That's why I brought him in to do live stuff with him, stuff like this. If that's not happening, then basically I bring him in as co-owner just to have to ask him permission to do shit in my own group, which is what it's been. I want to do stuff in the group. I got Gerry telling me no and stuff like that. I respect him there, but honestly, I don't need to bring in some guy. I do nothing with him, and I'm stuck asking him for permission. Like I don't get it there. It's not really working out this for me to the point that I left because I'm handcuffed. Right, I can't do fuck all in the group without Gerry's permission. I got these other guys hijacking the group. It felt like it wasn't even my own group anymore. That's why I left. You know what I mean? But fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm taking the group back there. And if people don't like it, they can go fuck themselves straight up. You know what I mean? Plus, like, I barely talk with Gerry anymore. So if I do want to ask his permission to do something in my own group or whatever there, then I have to wait 2 weeks for him to respond to me. So you can see that it's, not really worth it, this partnership or whatever. Honestly, what's the point? Like, there's none. So, plus recently he pretty much gave power of the group to Mark and Charles, and they were in charge of it or whatever. Um, so as of this moment, there by special order of the Chinese, General Gerry officially released as admin. And moving forward, I'll be taking care of the group myself or whatever. As minority owner, Gerry, right now I'm talking with my lawyers, folks. We're talking about a buyout there, but as it stands, Gerry still has full access to the facilities, right? If he posts something, I'll feature it for him. So he still has access to the top floor. Big office on the top floor, but as of today, he's pretty much powerless, folks, there. So that's where we stand, folks. A new era, a new day. I'm no longer going to be asking permission from anybody to do whatsoever here on Facebook or anywhere else there. I'm going to be running this group. I'm not going to have a boring live show happening every Friday there. I'm going to start doing live stuff again or whatever. I'm going to be doing upload stuff like this, and I'm going to be having a good time. And if people are upset, if you were here because, you're here and because of Mark, or you're upset of me taking back control of the group that I started there, if this offends you, feel free to leave. You know what I mean? Mark and stuff, I opened up a group for them. GCK group click chat. I promoted it for them. I set the model for them before I removed them. This way they have a place. Stuff like this. So it is what it is. Taking back charge for those of you who are upset. You want to leave. You want to start your own group. I understand. I'm going to be here posting stuff, having a good time or whatever. And if it's too much work, then I'm just going to boot more people there. For example, I just booted a guy called Weston Flores. This is one of Gerry's guys, you know what I mean? Like when Triple H got removed, they got rid of some of his people, like Regal and stuff. I removed Weston Flores, one of Gerry's guys, because he's a friend of Gerry's, and Weston doesn't like me, and he doesn't even like you, Gerry, right? So why is this goofball in our group? People in the group that I started, and they don't even like me. Like, enough is enough. It's time for a change, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, peace. Ah!